Hey guys, this is Magical Lady Duchess, and tonight I'm going to do a video on body fluids. This is the third attempt to do this video. Probably should have done it live, but anyway. So, what does body fluids encompass? Like, what does it mean? What are you talking about? Because I'm not just talking about blood, menstrual blood, and semen. That's all everybody thinks. You talking about some menstrual blood and some semen. I'm gonna put some drops of blood. Listen, sit the fuck down, okay? All right, so in magic, occult, conjuring, hoodoo, voodoo, I'm not gonna say Wicca because Wicca's ain't about hurt nobody and shit like that. So I doubt very seriously, but it is a water element. All right, Wiccans. So we're mostly gonna talk about semen because okay, let me go back. Body fluids can be semen, tears, urine, feces, pubic hair, nail clippings, some spit, menstrual blood, women's secretions. It could be a multitude of things. You can even use the sweat off of somebody's shirt or underneath their arms. It's still a body fluid, okay? So, all right. So there are many taboos and shit like that when we're talking about using body fluids, right? Because mostly what people think about, we're talking about menstrual blood and like putting some blood in the red sauce and making the do some spaghetti. Listen, that's typically how it kind of works. And you can also do a panty soup. Mm. Let me tell you what a panty soup is. Just throw it out there. So you wear your panties for like a day. You know, I wouldn't say 3 or 4 days, cause them hoes gonna be stiff, and he gonna think it's a tortilla chip. But anyway, all right. So panty soup is just you wearing your panties and you make a soup, and you put your panties in the pot and you let it boil and cook. And it's supposed to be a way to keep them. So anyway, I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So we're gonna talk about the taboos and stuff that go along with menstrual blood, with semen and urine, and you know it could be kind of problematic, you know, but especially if you're wanting to use your blood all the time. I don't want you using your blood all the time. They're great for sex magic and also for conjuring and stuff like that. But just think about it like this: human blood is considered to be the more powerful than other things. Human blood is identified with the soul that carries the greatest power. It is like they say, like if you a couple of drops of blood for a person, it creates like an emotional attachment, which can be true. But the blood of they say like of anybody that's been killed or somebody that's executed, they say that that's a powerful protector too against like disease and bad luck and stuff like that because of the energy of it. Even a victim's blood on a handkerchief could be used for like magical rituals and stuff like that. But what I want you to understand is that human blood, because that's what everybody want to know about, human blood is used to seal pacts and oaths as well, and sisterhood and brotherhood. Um, it's it strengthens the foundations of buildings. You can use, like, if you get into an office space or your home, you can feed it a drop of your blood for you to stay there. But just think, if there's some shit fucked up, you're gonna be fucked up and you ain't gonna be able to leave. You know what I'm saying? So like menstrual blood is like if somebody consumes a little drop of it, that person will love her passionately for forever. Which there is great truth to that. But let me tell you what happens with you guys. You guys put so much fucking blood in shit that you can literally taste the iron. And he know damn well spaghetti ain't supposed to taste like iron spaghetti. It's supposed to taste like a meat spaghetti. And y'all be fucking up. That's why I don't even like teaching on this shit, because y'all take that shit and go 1,000 with it. And you should never be doing any of that stuff. Did you even know that menstrual blood is really good for healing, protection, and banishing work? No, because all y'all want to do is talk about love shit. And he don't even be about shit. So anyway, menstrual blood has a long and engaged fear when it comes to men too, being associated with, you know, a woman trying to do something to him and stuff like that. Listen, if you good at this, you don't have to use your blood to bind a dude to you. I could tell y'all some other ways to do that, but not on this video. Even in Leviticus, if you study Leviticus in the Old Testament, and I believe it's 18, chapter 18, verse 19, it says, "You shall not come near a woman while she is impure by her uncleanliness to uncover her nakedness." It was talking about the menstrual blood. Even in some cultures, like you don't have sex on when you're on your cycle because that's shedding the lining from the inside, which is like a considered a waste. But some dudes like to have sex with women on their cycles. Do you, Damon?
I'm not opposed.
What'd you say?
I'm not opposed to it.
Also, like vaginal fluids, because we're on that and we're talking about vaginal fluids. All right. So, to keep a man crazy about you and uninterested in wandering, all you have to do is mix a little bit of menstrual blood in his food or drink. Like I said, it's more to it that goes along with that, but everybody wants to talk about, oh, some blood. Let me tell you something. Have you ever bought a shirt and the shirt was really what you wanted, or an outfit, or a purse, or a car, and you think, I really fucking want this purse? All you can do is just like visualize, you can like fucking see it, and all you want is this purse. Then you get it, and then all of a sudden it's not what you thought it was. It don't fit you all the way. Something's off with it. But you can't take it back because you didn't already wore it. That's kind of like using blood work. You don't want to do it quite like that. You just don't. Is he like dropping shit? That cat is so crazy. So I just want you guys to know I need to do a in-depth class about blood, and I've talked about it a lot in my apprenticeship. It's really good for financial stuff too, for healing. It's just not all about a man. I get kind of frustrated a little bit sometimes because I want you guys to elevate yourself and not just always be wanting to do stuff because it has to do with getting a man or keeping a man. Sometimes you need to be bigger than that, better than that, better than that, bigger than that. So if you want to do blood work, fine, but think of it as binding work. Why would you want to do blood work on a dude that never even paid $700-800 a month worth of your bills? Why do you want to be with somebody who cheated on you? Why you want to be somebody with, or bind yourself to somebody who hurt you in that way? Y'all be wanting to do that. I don't be wanting to do that. I don't want y'all to do that either. But I'm gonna talk about it because y'all want to know. Some of the best spells in the world, where magic and sex and love don't even really come from the blood. They come from the hair clippings, the nail trimmings, personal items, if you will. Um, they make it very. I tell people all the time, if you want to control his dick, get your pair of underwear and cut the seat out of it. The part where his penis rests. You know, because they don't like be wiping their shit all the time, and he got a little pee on there, or he got a little pre cum on there. Them underwear you can't ever fail with the underwear. The seat of some underwear can take you a long way. Just like the seat of underwear, you could take you a long way. The panty suit. Remember I'm talking about that? So I don't want you to get just caught up on, well, it just got to be blood. Because what if you're a woman of a certain age and you don't have a menstrual cycle, right? Well, you got to use those other things, and they are not less effective. You just might have to use a little bit more of them. Okay? So like urine. Urine is a natural ammonia. The most potent urine, or chamber lie, is in the morning, the first pee. If you guys live in a place where you don't have like ammonia and you don't have access to it, no worries. Your body produces it all the time. The best thing to do to make it more not pH friendly, which some of you guys are naturally not pH friendly, you guys can really use your chamber lie to really turn some shit around in your life. What does that mean? The same thing how what you did to use the ammonia jar, use it with your urine. All you need is a half, like a mason jar. Fill it up halfway. You don't have to fill it up all the way to the top. We don't want a big jar of piss. I got to tell y'all that. So if you're gonna use urine or anything like that, the best thing to do is to wait in the morning. Drink some fucking um, soda, carbonated drinks. Really help you to have a strong urine. Pull back from the water because you want this shit to be effective as fuck. Pull back from the water and get you so your shit can be okay. Um, I will tell you this. You can literally put stuff in men's coffee because coffee is something that's very strong. And if you add coffee to your work, it speeds it along because think of the caffeine. So if you could get a hold to his coffee, I'm looking back at my husband, so he'd be like, the fuck, you been doing something to my coffee? The answer is no. But you can get some coffee because it's believed to capture a man's attraction to a female and bind him to her. You can put just a drop of a little bit of your secretion, a little bit of blood. I wouldn't put pee in his coffee because that's kind of fucked up, but I would use those other two. Okay. Um. Also, let's talk about pheromones. Okay. Pheromones are produced like sex pheromones. It's a chemical signal that causes another person to be attracted to you or whatever the case may be. Let me tell you something. You can buy my love and domination oil, my come fuck me oil, my Marie Laveau oil, any attraction oil that I develop and that I create. You can actually mix some of your secretions with it, put it behind your ear, then put the oil with it, and it has your pheromones and it will attract, he will be attracted to your pheromones. So it's a chemical signal that causes our attraction to each other. So just FYI to help you guys with that. Damon, what you think about what I just said?
What's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing. Never mind. All right. Pheromones are detected by an organ called the VOLMERONASAL, the Volmerium. Damn, see if you can pronounce that, Damon.
Uh-huh.
VOLMERONASAL, the Volmerial nasal organ.
Mm.
It's noticeable in a cat and dog that smells an area where the pheromone is released, and it's located like the roof of the mouth. So picture the dreamy cat who smells another cat and hangs his mouth open. These are several type of pheromones, and at times when they are released, one is when we fear, another time is when we're sexually aroused. So the pheromone is odorless to humans, but when a woman smells the armpit of her man, the scent of his sweat can drive her wild. Unless he smells like a fucking muskrat, then that's probably not going to happen. Damon, that might be the reason why I like lay up under you like that. Cause I lay directly up under your arm. You know that?
Yeah.
Hmm. So anyway, so that's just something to think about when you're gonna use um, blood and stuff like that. Okay, and I really want to explain it so that you have an understanding. You don't necessarily have to use blood. You can use, like I said, your vaginal secretions and like some love oil. That works too, especially if he is around and he's gonna smell you and stuff like that. Okay. All right. If for some reason you're going to use blood and stuff like that too, please don't let it stay out. Please don't let it stay out. Always store it and have it cold. Um, always do that. Like, don't just Like have that shit sitting out, cause you gotta tell y'all, cause some of y'all be doing the most. And another thing to use with the blood, if you're going to use or utilize blood magic too, is lodestones. You can literally put your blood on lodestones and tell him you making him a little juju bag. And you can put the lodestones with a little bit of your blood. And let me tell you about the lodestones. The female lodestones are the one that has more hair. The more, and if you get lodestones, you can see the difference. I'm at the house right now, so I don't have none. But um, get some lodestones, and you can kind of put your so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Lodestones, if you don't know, they're like magnetized natural rocks. They're natural magnets. So the lodestones are used for attraction spells, for love, lust, for money, things that you want to attract to you. So you can utilize lodestones in just a little bit of your blood. They appear like hairy or like fuzzy, and they're fed with these iron fillings. So they're also referred to as like magnetic sand, and you may also like feed them into like hoodoo powders. But I'm really talking about the body secretions and in the body fluids, and I just want you to know that you can use that. Okay. Trying to make sure I don't like miss nothing, because it's a lot that I want to teach, but I won't, not on a open like platform like this. I'm gonna say no on that, but I'm gonna try to teach you like the best that I can and give you as much information as I possibly can, because I want you to do stuff the right way. I'm not saying that my way is the right way. I'm just saying this is how I was taught, so I'm just gonna share that. Women who are like who are not menstruating due to like pregnancy or breastfeeding, or who had like surgery that kind of terminate their cycles and stuff like that, or who they have experienced menopause. Obviously they don't have like they don't have menstrual blood to use. Like the best alternative for a female and a man is the vaginal fluids. Orgasm can kind of generate that. Goes back to the pheromones. And hoodoo and Sicilian, like folk magic and stuff, they use vaginal fluids to make a good substitute for um, putting in coffee, which I don't suggest that, or tea for like love spells. Okay? So now I'm going to talk about urine. Urine. All right. So talking about urine is like this. So in voodoo, urine is called like chamberlain or water, like I said before, right? So it's like the oldest root work and traditions for a man that wants to gamble and shit like that, to a female that urinates on his mojo bag. You could pee on a mojo bag a little bit for your man if he's a gambler or likes to, he needs a lucky hand while he's at play. You can use urine for that. Or they call it, if a gambler and his partner can retire, like to perform an act while the game is in process. They call that feeding the mojo. Think about the word feed, and it's linked to, our ancestors and feeding the ancestors. So think about that. Women like in gambling, and you're using like their chamber lie for that. Just a little bit takes you a long way. Urine is also men. If a man's trying to mojo you, they say that they put a little bit in the coffee and the tea, and it's a substitute for menstrual blood. But again, I don't recommend doing none of this shit. I'm just teaching you. You can kind of do what the fuck you want to do. You can take that information and you can go on, whatever. I'm just saying. So, um, that's what they do to as far as like attracting. So I will say this: you can use urine for, protection and creating like a witch's bottle, which you can use a little bit of goofer dust or graveyard dirt. You can get like a little small little bottle and put like 9 nails or 9 pins in it. And that your chamber lie, your urine, is supposed to be your element. It kind of protects you from that. You can do it, and you can also use urine too, um, for healing as well. They actually use it in the 17th century to treat smallpox. They literally would make rye, barley, herbs, water, and a cup of baby's pee pee, and it was fed to a dog. And if the dog shuddered while eating it, then the patient would recover. I know, child. It's so much stuff that they used to do back in the day when I was young. It was so much stuff they used. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is semen. I swear I'm not trying to make this video long. For every man who uses his semen to attract or control a woman, there are many women who steal a man's semen to control him or at least to keep him faithful. Semen can be fresh or gathered from another way, like use your imagination. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. You just do it on your own. However, it's important that a woman does not have intercourse or orgasm while capturing the semen because she might get mixed up in the spell as well and fall victim to her own tricks. So, if you are using semen to get something or make him be faithful or something like that, I suggest you let him like put his penis between your breasts or jerk him off or something like that. But make sure that your saliva is not mixed with this when you use it because you've been and mixed up your own stuff and whatever. You don't want to do that. So all body fluids can be like taken and frozen until you're required to use them. However, please be aware fresh ingredients do make all the difference. You don't want your body fluids to rot in any way, so preserving them in any form, doesn't necessarily guarantee the freshness, but yeah, because if rotten fluids or decayed fluids or um what's the other word?
Dehydrated.
No, mildew. Like if they're mildew, the spell results can be disastrous, and then you're gonna get something totally different from what you wanted. So now that we've talked about urine, we talked about semen, we talked about blood, we're gonna talk about feces.
Skid marks and shorts.
Skid marks and shit. Watch this, baby. Can I have some water, please? You're not asleep. All right. So let's talk about feces. He's my goodness. Thank you.
You want just a glass of water?
Ice water, please, sir. Please, sir. A glass of water, please. All right. My mouth getting dry. All right. So feces. Feces spell is to totally destroy someone's life. This is the type of spell that can also cause serious illness, removal, and even death. You got to be absolutely, positively, 120% sure that the intended target deserves the punishment you're trying to give them. You cannot have any doubts or any reservations. That's why I be telling y'all, be sure this is really what you want. Like, don't be jumping in this shit just because. Like, don't fucking do that. But if you do decide to do that, any fluid clipping from a person, alive or dead, will add potency to your spell like no other ingredient. But remember, this is the more powerful spell, the harder it will be to control if you don't perform it correctly. So they need to be deserving of the shit that you're about to throw them, literally. It's therefore essentially that you educate yourself and kind of plan ahead. That's why I tell y'all not to be emotional, but to plan it out so you can make sure you're doing the right thing. Because if you follow the correct methods, then precisely you should achieve the accurate end results that you so desire. Now, what does that mean using feces? So you can do a shit jar spell. You can use cat shit or your own. You can put cat shit and shit in your spell jars. If you guys are doing jar spell and you're doing a hexing spell on somebody, or you trying to throw some tricks on somebody and you're gonna use the jar spell with shit, you could take a piece of tissue if they deserve it, you could take a piece of tissue, write their name and their date of birth on it, and you can wipe your ass with that paper, and you're wiping shit all over that person that's fucking with you.
Ew.
Damn it, don't do that. But it works on y'all. I did that on somebody and they wound up in the hospital talking about their potassium was too low. So I'm trying to think, and that's some stanky shit. So be careful. But y'all can look up any like feces spell, and that's what they call it. They call it feces spell. So and I wouldn't just do it if they don't deserve it, but make sure that they do. You know what I'm saying? There's different variations of it. You can curse somebody, when you take a crap or whatever. Like I said, you can take a black sharpie, keep it in your bedroom. You know what I'm saying? I mean your bathroom. And you can say incantations, and when you say flush, flush that bitch ass away. Y'all can just like read. You can even do a feces spell to break up a couple. Yes, putting both their names on a piece of paper and wiping your ass with it with their date of birth. That helps too. Um, you can put like one name on the left side, one name on the right side. Y'all can look these up. Cause I know it's a lot of people that talk about this type of stuff. So you can look it up. Ain't no big deal. And how often should you do it? Shit, every 2 to 3 weeks until it work. You know what I'm saying? Menstrual blood typically is for sex stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now I'm gonna talk about hair and fingernail clippings, hair shavings, stuff like that. So hair is really associated with like strength. Okay. So like even in the Bible, what was it? Who was it that cut his hair off? Was it Samson? They had cut all his hair off and shit, and as his hair grew back, he got stronger. I need to be right, cause baby, y'all be ready to check the shit out of me. But I think it was Samson. Damon, why you got all quiet? You don't know nothing about the Bible, baby, huh? Yeah, it was Samson, and it was saying he had long hair, it was cut short. Then the Nazarite vowed that he would lose his strength, and he did. So, yeah, it's a symbol of God's power. With Delilah being the tricky bitch that she was, that happened with it. So your hair, they even have it in some cultures like you don't cut your hair. Your hair is your strength. Your hair is your power. So if you can get some of your hair and or that target's hair and tie it around your petition and burn it all, that's good too, and it increases the strength. That's why you can get some cat hair and some dog hair and put it together and have them hoes fighting like cats and dogs, because it's power in the hair. So shaking hair increases the power of the spell. Cutting hair kind of, it says, diminishes magical power. So pubic hair is considered to be especially potent when it's an ingredient in like love charms. You know what I'm saying? With love spells. Your name, no name. Your nails have been associated with demons who live under long and unkept nails. Now, I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I think a way to control a man is through his hair and his nails, and that's what I would use. So that's what I would use to try to, you know, control his head and his hands. Oh, kitty. Oh, kitty, kitty, kitty. Look at kitty. Kitty, kitty. All right, I'm back. So I've talked about feces. I've talked about semen. I've talked about urine. I've talked about vaginal fluids. I even gave you like a scripture or two. They say that if you want to make, and this is a little bit darker, they say that if you want to make a deal with the devil or sign a contract with the devil, you can also use blood for that. I'm not going to get into all of that, even though I think it's extraordinarily important to know these things. You just have to be like in take a class or get in my apprenticeship for some of that. But let's see. I'm trying to think. Mm, 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 mm. I think that's all I have to say about like body fluids and stuff like that. Just be careful, take your time, study research, and don't do it emotional. Like, do it when you thought it all out, so you can really stick it to their ass. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Move, kitty. That's all I have to say. I love you guys. If you have any questions, comments, please post it down below. I will answer it. And if I get many of the same kind of questions, I will do a live response to those questions. So check out my website, magicalLadyDuchess.com, where you can see my online store that's based off my live store here in Dallas. And I hope that you have taken things that I have taught a little bit on tonight and make them your own. Bye.